This is a moment of extraordinary mental precision. The words you choose and the ideas you follow in the days around this lumination carry unusual weight. They can reshape the direction of your life. This is a super new moon. The moon sits at its closest point to Earth, which means the gravity of what you begin now reaches further than usual. Gemini energy governs curiosity, language, and the stories you tell yourself, the stories that either open doors or keep them locked. Venus enters Leo on June 13th, the day before this new moon, and she is already making her presence felt. She forms a sextile to Uranus, bringing sudden attraction and unexpected creative sparks. At the same time, she moves toward an opposition with Pluto in Aquarius. This tension surfaces what has been hidden in relationships, the dynamics you have outgrown, the truths you have been holding back. The new moon in Gemini, it's a starting gun. The conversations you begin now, the intentions you set, the new information you allow yourself to receive, all of it sets the course of the lunar cycle ahead and far beyond. Now let us take every sign one by one. This Sun, Moon and Rising, the new moon lights up your third house of communication. This moon opens a rare window of mental sharpness. Ideas that felt tangled or unclear suddenly have a clean shape. This is the time to speak the thing you have been circling around, to write it, to say it out loud, to let it leave your mind and enter the world. Venus in Leo is activating your fifth house of creativity and romance. Something unexpected is sitting there like a creative pool, a person who catches your attention in a new way. The sextile to Uranus means it arises from an unlikely direction. You do not need to chase it, you simply need to stay open. With Venus Pluto opposition forming across your 5th and 11th house, a tension between personal desire and group of belongings is rising to the surface. The pull between what you want for yourself and what keeps you connected to others is real. This new moon illuminates your own truth and asks you to speak it, even if it shifts the dynamic around you. Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising. The new moon lands in your second house of resources and self-worth. Your thinking around money, value, and what you deserve is getting a complete reset. This is a practical recalibration. The words you use to describe what you are worth in your work, in your relationships, in your own mind are being rewritten right now. Venus, your ruling planet, has just entered Leo and your 4th house of home and emotional foundation. There is a warmth returning to your private world. Something about how you nurture yourself is changing. The Venus-Pluto opposition stretches across your 4th and 10th houses. Home versus public life. Private needs versus other responsibilities. A truth about where you have been pouring energy into structures that no longer support you is rising. This new moon illuminates what you truly value and invites you to bring your resources into alignment with that clarity. Gemini, Sun, Moon and Rising. This is your new moon, Gemini. It lands in your first house at 24 degrees. This is a personal reset of the highest order. The way you present yourself to the world, the identity you carry, the story you tell about who you are, all of it is up for renewal. You are stepping into a new version of yourself, and the clarity you feel right now is the fuel. Venus in Leo has moved into your third house of communication and local environment. Your words carry a new mechanism. The conversation you have in the days around this new moon can open doors you didn't know were there. The Venus-Pluto opposition stretches across your third and ninth house. This is a clash between everyday communication and big picture truth. Something you have believed for a long time is being challenged by new information. Let it be challenged. The new moon in your sign wants you to update your own operating system, and that means questioning the beliefs you have carried without examination. Cancer, Sun, Moon and Rising. This new moon falls in your 12th house, the house of solitude, dreams, and unconsciousness. There is a powerful conversation happening beneath the surface of your awareness. You may not have the words for it yet, but something is being recognized deep within you. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to the quiet nudges that have no logical explanation. Venus has entered Leo and your second house of self-worth and resources. This is a shift. After time spent in more hidden territory, Venus is now asking you to engage with what you value in more visible, confident way. The Venus-Pluto opposition between your second and eighth house brings intensity around shared resources, depths, and emotional entanglements. A dynamic you have tolerated because it felt safer than speaking up is now rising into full view. This new moon gives you the gift of inner clarity. Rest, listen, and let that clarity build before you act. Leo, Sun, Moon and Rising. The new moon activates your 11th house of community and future vision. You are receiving a sharp, clear picture of where you belong and with whom. A conversation you have in the days around this lunation could alter the trajectory of a friendship or collaborative project. The mental energy is fast. Trust what comes through. Venus has just entered your sign, and this is a homecoming. Venus in Leo in your first house brings warmth, mechanism, and renewed sense of personal presence. The Venus-Pluto opposition across your first and seventh house steers intensity in partnerships. Someone is reacting to your new energy, perhaps with resistance, perhaps with attraction, perhaps with both. The tension here is clarifying. It shows you who can handle your fullest and who cannot. This new moon invites you to choose your company based on what is true now not what was true last year. Virgo, Sun, Moon and Rising. The new moon lands in your 10th house of career and public life. At 24 degrees in Gemini, this is one of the most significant professional reset points of your year. The clarity you have about your direction right now comes from everything you have been processing over the last several months, finally crystallizing into a message you can act on. Venus has entered Leo in your 12th house of solitude and closure. This is something private unfolding alongside your public momentum. A release, a letting go, a quiet emotional shift that others may not see. The Venus-Pluto opposition between your 12th and 6th houses reveals a pattern around work, health, and daily discipline that has been running on old programming. The tension you feel between needing rest and needing to produce is real. This new moon redefines what productive looks like, to include the inner work as essential and not optional. Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising. The new moon lights your 9th house of higher knowledge and expanded perspective. Your mind is reaching beyond its unusual boundaries. A book, a conversation, a piece of media, something enters your awareness in the days around this lunation that changes how you see a situation you thought you understand. Stay curious. The answer you need waits in a direction you have not yet explored. Venus, your ruling planet, has entered Leo and your 11th house of friendships and community. Your social world is warming up. There is a new mechanism in how you connect with groups and with your vision of the future. The Venus-Pluto opposition across your 11th and 5th houses lights up a tension between group belonging and personal creative expression. There is something you want to make, to share, to birth into the world, and there will be a concern about how it will be received. This new moon encourages you to privilege your own voice over the imagined reactions of others. What you create now has more power than you realize. Scorpio, Sun, Moon and Rising. The new moon lands in your 8th house of shared resources, intimacy and philosophical depth. There is a profound reset around what you share and with whom. The conversations you have now about money, trust, and emotional access are foundational. Something that has been unspoken in a close partnerships is ready to be named. Venus has entered Leo and your 10th house of career and public standing. Your professional life is receiving a surge of warmth and visibility. The Venus-Pluto opposition across your 10th and 4th houses, career versus home, outer authority versus inner foundation, surface the tension between where you are going and where you come from. A family pattern, an old loyalty, a sense of obligation that has shaped your choices is being illuminated. Oh God, I hope so. I'm a Scorpio rising too. This new moon helps you to see clearly what is yours and what was handed to you. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon and Rising. The new moon activates your 7th house of partnerships. A conversation with a significant other, romantic, business or close friend has the power to reset the dynamic between you. This touches the foundational understanding of what you are to each other. The words changed now carry unusual weight. Venus has entered Leo in your 9th house of expansion, travel, and belief. There is a pull towards something bigger, a trip, a course of study, a philosophical shift that changes how you approach love and connection. The Venus-Pluto opposition between your 9th and 3rd houses creates tension between big picture ideas and daily communication. You may notice a gap between what you say, you believe, and how you actually speak to the people close to you. So this new moon invites you to close that gap, to let your words reflect the truth you hold, even when it is uncomfortable to voice it. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. The new moon falls in your 6th house of daily work, health, and routines. Sharpen your focus around how you structure your days. Something in your workflow, your habits, or your relationship with your own body is ready to change. This is a practical reset, but the effects ripple toward into every area of your life. The way you spend your hours is the way you spend your life, and this new moon makes that truth impossible to ignore. Venus has entered Leo in your 8th house of shared resources and deep intimacy. There is a moment in financial arrangements, in what you share with a partner, in what you receive from others. The Venus-Pluto opposition between your 8th and 2nd houses brings intensity around money and self-worth. A pattern of giving more than you receive or holding on too tightly out of fear is being brought to light. This new moon reveals the link between your daily discipline and your deeper sense of value. They are connected in ways you have not fully seen. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. The new moon lights your 5th house of creativity, romance, and self-expression. Give you a direct channel to your own joy. What you want to make, who you want to love, how you want to play. This is the part of life that makes everything else sustainable. You are being asked to take your own happiness seriously. Venus has entered Leo in your 7th house of partnerships. There is a warmth entering your closest relationships, a new dynamic, a softening, a willingness to be seen in a more vulnerable light. Something you have been processing internally is now ready to be shared. The Venus-Pluto opposition between your 7th and 1st houses steers intensity in one-on-one dynamics. Someone is mirroring something back to you, possibly something you do not want to see. The tension you feel signals that something real is surfacing. This new moon asks you to express what you want without apology, and to let that expression reshape the connections around you. Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. The new moon lands in your 4th house of home, roots, and emotional foundation. Bring clarity to something you have felt but could not articulate. A conversation with family, a realization about your living situation, a shift in how you understand your own emotional needs. These are the doors this new moon opens. What you name now can change the atmosphere of your private world. Venus has entered Leo and your 6th house of daily work and wellness. Your routines are receiving an infusion of warmth and creativity. The Venus-Pluto opposition between your 6th and 12th houses highlights a tension between conscious habits and unconscious patterns. The way you work, the way you care for your body, the way you structure your time, all of it is shaped by deeper currents you may not always see. This new moon gives you access to those currents. What surfaces now about your own hidden motivations is a gift. Receive it without judgment. Pisces new moon in Gemini at 24 degrees is a turning point. The thoughts you think, the words you speak, and the intention you set are unusually precise. They cut through the noise. Be deliberate what you tell yourself, because the story you choose now becomes the architectures of the weeks and months ahead. Venus in Leo asks you to lead with your heart. Venus opposites Pluto asks you to stop hiding the parts of yourself that want more, that want deeper, and want real. These two forces rise together. The courage to love openly and the courage to face that was being in shadow. This new moon is a fresh start and a mirror. What you see in it depends on what you are willing to look at. The energy is fast, the clarity is available. The only thing that remains is whether you will see it. Stop running the old blueprint and start building the new one.